been a while since we reviewed Scarlet Witch because I went on break, then I got sick, and my new schedule doesn't allow me to produce as many videos as I used to at once, which I still stand by, as it allows me to have more time to research the topics I am making content surrounding, even if it means that I can't make as much content at one time. Quality over quantity. But that's for another video. Instead, the focus of today's video is the Scarlet Witch annual that happens between issues 5 and 6 of the Scarlet Witch series, which we've been reviewing. It also takes some liberties from the Midnight Sun series, with Agatha Harkness reappearing, with her youth restored, which was a plot from that series. Which, I'll be honest, I don't remember fully. I read a lot of comics, and sometimes I forget some details in them. I remember the important details, and I remember thinking the series overall was just kinda meh. I also made a video on Agatha having her youth restored, and as to why it was that I personally wasn't a big fan of that. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below if you're curious about my problems with Agatha being young again. But for now, let's get into the annual. We start this issue on a battle between Wanda and a snake monster, which is actually revealed to be a pocket dimension that Wanda had made. That this Wanda in this fight is actually fake. As Darcy walks in on the real Wanda watching this in the shop, as she had created this weird pocket dimension in a orb-type crystal ball that contains demons that have gone after her. The real Wanda is actually watching this demon kill the fake her, thinking that it was pleasant to let him have a moment of feeling happy with himself, considering the fact that he is a demon and comes from hell. Wanda also seems to think that this snake monster is adorable, which, I mean, I kind of see it. It kind of seems like a little Godzilla, but with a bigger snoot. It's cool, but I can see where Wanda is coming from by saying it is adorable. Wouldn't want him for a pet, though. Or would I? Maybe I would. Not if he was trying to eat me, though. Wanda is then interrupted by a couple called the Jordans, who are usual customers, in which Wanda sells them some special seeds. And then we cut to New Salem, which is a thing from the Vision of Scarlet Witch series. Here we meet a shirtless demon eating lunch who seems to have a grudge against Wanda, as well as making references to the Trial of Magneto storyline from the X-Men comics. Which, by the way, both that and the Vision Scarlet Witch series are given editor's notes, which I did like. Because sometimes a lot of comics just presume you know everything and won't tell you. I know some people think that editor's notes are stupid, or they don't need to be there, or they're overused, but personally I think they're actually useful. Anyways, this demon we see is actually talking to someone who just straight up kills him. They also call this demon Necrodamus, which, yes, is a character, but he doesn't look anything like him. Necrodamus isn't buff. Why is he so buff? Necrodamus is a very minor Marvel villain who has fought Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, the Defenders, but looks like this. He appears more as a monk, so I'm a little confused why this comic makes him so buff. I guess he has some resemblance to him, but overall, I don't think these two characters look much alike. Anyways, the person who killed him was obviously Agatha, who likes the sound of Necrodamus being killed. As she ponders about Wanda, considering their history where Agatha was a mentor of hers, she seems to believe that Wanda is too powerful and claims that she wishes she didn't have to go after her, but she does. We cut to Wanda, who's having a conversation with a restaurant owner when Darcy shows up in a panic to warn Wanda that Zogs is in Texas creating problems, who they call Zaps, which I like much better than Zogs, because I can pronounce Zaps. Wanda leaves immediately to go off to fight him, which was a pretty cool panel, but Wanda easily wins off panel. We don't see her beat him, which I was kind of sad about because I wanted to see that fight. As we next see her going back to her shop, where Agatha is waiting for her, Wanda is at first actually happy to see her. After all, they were once friends, and is happy to see that she's young, something that she knew that Agatha always wanted. Wanda treats her as if they were actually good friends, and treats her with kindness. Yet Agatha seems cold in her reaction. As Wanda hears about New Salem existing, Agatha just snaps at her. They have tea as Agatha explains that ever since Wanda got her powers from the Darkhold, several demons have wished to go after her, plenty of which Agatha has just been going around straight up killing. That to protect Wanda, or also to take out the competition. And she's actually poisoned Wanda's tea, with some sort of enchanted magic eggs she got from Brood, which kinda put Wanda in a coma. But a very scary coma. What do you call this? Anyways, Wanda beats it really fast, which seems to surprise Agatha, before teleporting away saying that the worst is yet to come. Wanda teleports after her into another dimension, which is a pirate world, where they're fighting over a ship with swords, as Wanda questions what's the deal with the attack. Agatha believes that her power could corrupt her. After all, Wanda doesn't exactly have the best track record. The two battle into another dimension, now it's some kind of England world? Like 1700 England? Where they talk about Wanda's burden. That being if she ever lost control of her power, the possibility of the Darkhold Maker being freed is, well, likely. Therefore, Agatha thinks that she herself should have the power. Therefore, technically she was taking out the competition. However, not exactly for selfish reasons. Instead, she wants the power because things could get bad if Wanda loses control. Therefore, she thinks that she can control the Darkhold power. Because if Wanda can't, then the world could just straight up end. Considering how powerful the creator of the Darkhold is. Which, I mean, yeah, I kind of get why Agatha would attack Wanda then. Because if Wanda loses control, the world could pretty much just end. They teleport to the world of the Living Tribunal, as Agatha tries to compare the two's power struggle. But Wanda barks back that her powers are something that she can learn to control and understand. Which I would argue I kinda get why Agatha would be hesitant of that. Because, like said, if Wanda fails, the world could end. Although I would trust Wanda a lot more with this power than Agatha, so I'm also on Wanda's side here as well. Wanda ends the battle by telling Agatha to stop. Like it or not, she's keeping the power, which Agatha can't beat. So fighting her for it doesn't make any sense. Because Agatha knows she'll lose. And Wanda says that her compassion is what can control the chaos. With Agatha finally giving in, saying that fine, she'll just watch over Wanda to make sure she's okay. The two teleport back to the shop. Afterwards, Wanda convinces Agatha to stay just a little longer. The two walk around Lockkill, where Wanda is recognized as the Scarlet Witch by a kid named Oscar who thinks Agatha is her sidekick. Agatha says she's happy to see Wanda is at peace in this small town, before giving her a hug goodbye as she fades away, telling her that she'll keep her safe from the looming threats. Which is, by the way, her way of saying, I'm gonna go kill some demons. Which in itself is interesting to see how the two deal with the demons differently. Agatha straight up kills them, while Wanda puts them in a pleasant prison, where they get what they want. I think it's a nice detail to show how these two women are very different, even though they are still friends. Well, Agatha's kind of her aunt and her friend, but considering that they're the same age now, I think friend's the better term. But that's just me, of course. Wanda afterwards goes back to the shop to have some banter with Darcy, where Darcy had helped the woman without Wanda with magic, with having given her some magical herbs. And while Wanda isn't sure at first how she feels about it, she does go on to tell Darcy that she made the right choice in the diagnosis, as she also tells her that she's a great shopkeeper. Which, of course, gives Darcy confidence in her work, because her boss just told her that she is great at her job. And the issue ends with us learning that Agatha actually betrayed Wanda. She had used her magic to place a spell in her tea that would spike into her soul, which Agatha used as her ticket into Wanda's mind, where she attacks the Darkhold demon. This is to lead into the Contest of Chaos crossover, which I won't be reviewing on my channel, by the way. But hey, that's a pretty cool setup. This issue overall is really good. It's fairly small for what is an annual. Usually they're bigger stories, but instead this story, while setting up the event of a Marvel crossover, it doesn't really set up much of the actual main story itself of the Scarlet Witch comic, which usually most annuals do with the story they present affecting the main title that they themselves are an annual of. Instead, you could pretty much just skip this and it wouldn't matter. Except for maybe some character development for Darcy. Not a bad story at all. It is, in my opinion, a very decent story. And the best moments were definitely between Agatha and Wanda. I really enjoyed the dynamic. But it doesn't really matter much to the Scarlet Witch comic, nor does it really matter much to the Contest of Chaos, except for the ending. At least as of right now. This issue is a very good display of showing these two witches being brought back together after having some changes to their dynamic. For example, they're both the same age now. And Wanda now is more powerful than Agatha, which technically was always the case, but Wanda is aware of that now. Personally, I really did enjoy this story, but like I said, it was really small as well. With very, very small stakes, even though the world is technically in danger, it's mainly just pushed aside, which I understand why, but there isn't really any stakes to what is intended to be a bigger story than what it is. It's an interesting place to take an annual story, because typically they're very big and they're very world-ending, in which this one technically was. It didn't really have the oomph of an annual issue. It still was good, but just didn't have an oomph. But that's my opinion, and you can disagree with it. And like always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!